So, you have an anime for me? Yes, sir, I do. And I was thinking that we do a discount Harry Potter, right? Rip-offs of infinitely more successful projects is how we stay in business. Great, so I was thinking we have our main character be this guy, Iruma, right? Oh, and what's this guy like? Is he in a cupboard under the stairs? No, sir, he's gonna be in a tuna boat. Oh, so this guy's got the kid that we're gonna send to discount Hogwarts. No, actually, he is the kid. He just kind of works like pretty much like a slave for his parents who are taking all of his money and doing none of the work. Oh, yikes. And then one day, Iruma's gonna mysteriously get transported to the netherworld because, you know, his parents have sold him to a demon for some drinking. Oh my gosh, I mean, those are the worst parents in history. Even the Dursleys never stooped so far as to sell Harry. I mean, if they had access to a demon willing to buy, they might have. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that this demon bought Iruma because he wants a grandson, right? That's like a wildly human thing for a demon to want. That's because the demons are gonna be like pretty much just exactly like humans, except infinitely more colorful, especially in their hair. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. So does that mean that Iruma's just okay to be a human among demons? Yeah, no, not really, because, you know, even though the demons are still pretty evolved from what we might consider, you know, they're still gonna eat a human on sight. Oh, no. Or not, it's just kind of vague. Could you at least make it clear for my own sanity? No, and so anyway, this demon Sullivan, turns out he's the strongest there is, and so, you know, he's gonna enroll Iruma at this demon school, Babulus, right, which he also happens to be the headmaster. Ah, so he's like a discount Dumbledore then. Yeah, pretty much, and then it turns out that Iruma got enrolled as an honor student, right, and so that means he's gotta give a speech to the incoming class. Oh, does he say something about, like, how excited he is for his upcoming school career? He recites an incredibly complicated spell by mistake. How do you do that by mistake? Well, in his defense, he was given a script and, you know, he read the script. Yeah, I'm sure that won't come back to haunt him or anything. And then this demon, Asmodeus Alice, who's like the strongest in the incoming class, is gonna challenge Iruma to a duel, right? It just like, it immediately came back to haunt him. It's okay though, because, you know, the spell that Iruma recited was actually a spell that meant he was unable to fall over for the rest of the day, so that combined with his super dodging ability means he's able to completely German suplex Alice. And that works against a demon who can presumably use actual magic? Turns out it does, and now Alice is gonna be Iruma's best friend. How do you go from challenging someone to a duel to becoming their best friend? Anime logic. That works. And so everyone's gonna have their first class, right? And we're gonna meet this teacher Caligo, right? And he likes to wear black, and he's like super strict with his students. Oh, and it's just like the discount Snape? I would neither confirm nor deny that the clearly discount Snape is at all inspired by Snape. And so anyway, we're moving on. On to what? Summoning familiars. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, it sure is. And everyone's gonna be summoning these giant magical beasts, right? Like, for example, Alice is gonna summon like a giant snake. Oh, and what does Iruma summon? Oh, yeah, no, he's gonna summon Caligo instead. Well, why, what, when, where, how did that happen? Because, you know, Iruma, he's a human, right? So if a demon were to complete that exact same ritual, they would summon a beast as the familiar, but if a human were to do it, it turns out they get a demon as their familiar. So surely that would reveal to the whole school that Iruma's a human, right? Nope, turns out no one thinks twice about it. Oh, okay, then I have no further questions. Great, and so anyway, we're gonna move on to meet Clara, right? Oh, Clara, what's she like? Well, you know, she's like super hyper and eccentric, and she can make anything she thinks of by pulling it out of little pouches on her belt. Whoa, wait, so does that mean she could in theory make counterfeit demon money, or maybe even a whole house if she wants to? She uses it almost exclusively for candy. I respect that. And so anyway, after a long series of something or others, Alice and Clara are gonna become Iruma's #1 and #2 friends. Wait, which is which? We will never know. But anyway, then Iruma realizes because he's got the strongest person in the class on his left, and the literal embodiment of just craziness on his right, that, you know, he might stand out a little too much. So he convinces his grandpa to make the misfit class just for the misfits of the school. A misfit class? That seems kind of discriminatory. Oh yeah, it very much is. I'm sorry, we as a corporation cannot support discrimination in such a matter like this. Did I mention that it will significantly, and I do mean significantly, narrow down the amount of characters we have to work with in the story? Which is why, as I was saying, that we are fully behind this development. Great, and so then it's time for everyone to get their ranks, right? Oh, and how does that work? Well, they're gonna do a super long race, kind of like a triathlon kind of deal, and at the end, they're gonna reach into this magic pouch of an owl and pull out their rank, right? Seems like kind of a flawed system. I mean, what happens if you're just having like an off day? Then they get assigned the lowest rank of Abel, which Iruma, after doing just a crazy amount of side quests and ending up getting disqualified from the race, is gonna get. Oh no. But you know, he's gonna also reach into the bag of the magic owl and get, you know, the super magic ring, right? What does that mean? Well, the thing about this ring is that it's able to store mana, which is like magical energy, right? And because Sullivan's got like the super premium deluxe mana because he's the strongest in the netherworld, he's just gonna fill Iruma's ring full of his own mana, and Iruma can use magic now, essentially. Ah, so it's like Harry Potter's wand then. Little bit, and so then we're gonna have the dodgeball arc, right? How do you make a whole arc out of what I presume is like a single game of dodgeball? Easy, if Iruma wins, he can get his rank increased, and you know, he really wants that to happen. Ooh, sounds like that'll be difficult. Actually, super simple. Barely an annoyance. Oh, really? Well, you see, because Iruma, he has this ability where he can dodge like literally anything thrown at him, so he wins the game super easily and gets his rank raised to bet. That's good. How many ranks are there, by the way? Oh, like 10, maybe 11. Ooh, yikes, that might take a while to climb that ladder. honor. And then we're gonna meet Ameri, right? Oh, America. What's this person like? No, not America. Ameri. And anyway, she's like super tall with red hair and red clothes, and she's also student council president. They have those in the netherworld? Apparently. And so anyway, she's on to the fact that Iruma's kind of a human, right? Whoa, wait, how did she figure it out? She spent 2 seconds and thought about what kind of person would summon a demon as their familiar and came up with the actual correct answer of human. Oh, yeah, I suppose that would do it. What's she gonna do about it, though? Well, she thinks about outing him, but then she realizes that he can actually read the shoujo manga that she's got lying around. Why did they have human shoujo manga in the netherworld? Not important. So anyway, in return for not, telling on him, he's gonna read her all of the shoujo manga. Oh, well, that's actually kind of cute. It is, and slowly, and by slowly, I mean before they've literally even introduced themselves, Ameri's gonna realize that, she's kind of fallen for Iruma, right? Which she does? Maybe. It's really not super important. I mean, that sounds a little important. And then we're gonna have Iruma, Asmodeus, and Clara look to join a battler, right? What's a battler? Essentially school clubs, and after looking at a lot of them, Iruma's gonna be met with an explosion, right? Explosion? Not important, but the source of the explosion was this dude named Kirio, and he's like the head of the magical apparatus battler. Oh, what's this guy like? Oh, well, he's shy and well-meaning, and also the villain of the series, yeah. What? Yeah, so there's gonna be this party for all the battlers called the Battler Party, where, they show off all their cool stuff, right? And Kirio, he's gonna use a magical apparatus to enhance his ability of barriers and sort of barricade the whole school in. Why would he do that, though? Because he's got this little magical ball that's gonna explode and kill them all. Oh no, what are they gonna do to stop it? Well, after figuring out what's going on, Iruma's gonna realize that, you can just move the magic ball. Like, it's not fixed or anything. And Kirio just doesn't stop him from removing the magic ball. No, not really. I mean, despite the fact that he's clearly spent years on this, and it's like his sort of magnum opus master plan kind of deal, he just kind of stands in one place and lets Iruma do his thing. And does he? Well, the barrier is super duper strong, and only Sullivan would have the power to break the barrier and let everyone get away unharmed, right? Oh yeah, where is Sullivan during all of this? Oh yeah, Demon Border Control got to him. Something about, illegally entering the human world and doing some sort of trafficking there. It's probably not important. Seems kind of important. And anyway, because, Iruma's got this ring full of Sullivan's power, he decides to use it to break the barrier and send the flying ball up into the air where it explodes as like a bunch of fireworks, right? Oh, wow, that's good. Does that mean that Kirio uses that opportunity to escape then? Well, despite the fact that he was alone with an unconscious Iruma for a not at all short amount of time, he's just kind of gonna let them take him away, yeah. That seems like super suspicious. No, it doesn't. So then Ameri, she's gonna pass out all the awards for the battlers, right? Oh, does that mean that Iruma's battler gets one? Indeed they do. They get the Tricky Award, which allows Iruma to go up from the rank of vet to Gimel. Cool. Do the other people get to rank up too? No, just Iruma. Seems a little discriminatory. Now you're getting in. So then anyway, we're gonna meet Ameri's father, right? Oh, George Washington? No, the head of border control. And just like his daughter, he's deduced that Iruma is probably a human, right? Oh no, what is Iruma gonna do to escape border patrol? Not to fear, because Ameri, she bumps into her father, and the first mention of the fact that she and Iruma might be spending some time alone, he kind of just he goes limp, yeah. Limp? Is he alright? Not important. So anyway, we're moving on. On to what? On to demon idols. Wait, they have those? Apparently, and so then there's this girl in the misfit class called Karoli, right? And it turns out she's actually secretly the super popular idol Chroma-chan. So right? What, is this like an idol anime now? A little bit, yeah. And so anyway, through circumstances that are absolutely, definitely, possibly could happen, Iruma's gonna end up in a room alone with Chroma-chan and immediately deduce that she's Karoli from his own class. Wait, how'd he know that? By knowing. And so anyway, that's gonna cause Karoli to have a huge sort of fit, right? And so for some reason, unexplicably, she's just unable to perform that night. Oh no, that's not good. What are they gonna do? Well, Iruma's gonna decide that he, Alice, and Clara should definitely fill in for her. Wait, like on the stage? Yep, in full idol outfits and everything. Was someone asking for this? Apparently, and so eventually Karoli's gonna recover, right? And so, because that she's now alright and recovered, they've done their job, they're gonna get off the stage, she's gonna continue the concert like normal, right? Right? Now she decides to go on stage and join them, and it's like a huge hit with the crowd. Okay. What was the point of that arc? Fan service. And so anyway, to wrap up the season, we're gonna have Iruma realize that, he's kind of happy for the first time in his life living in the netherworld. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, it's so especially sweet that somehow it's gonna fill up a whole episode. What? Not bored. So anyway, what did you think? Honestly, it seemed extremely derivative, unoriginal, uncreative, and there was not nearly enough America for me. Ameri. And honestly, it just felt too long, too slow, and could you have picked up the pace even a little bit? Well, you know why that is, right? Why? I kind of put in the groundwork so that we can intentionally have a lot of seasons of this. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a second season of this thing, let alone a third or a fourth. Hey guys, Anime Pitching here. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then I suggest you click over here for something that you might want to watch next. And if you don't, click it anyway. I mean, what else are you doing right now, realistically speaking? Anyway, see you in the next one.